Hey, Scott from DiResta.com here.
And Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com.
Welcome to Mark Men's Breakfast Club. Good morning, boy.
Good morning, Homer.
This week I'm back from Denver, but don't ask me how it went because I haven't been there yet. But I'm sure it was amazing.
Probably.
Yeah, probably so. Something I was going to ask you. Did you happen to see...
By the way, we are still smoking 4th Generation 1982 by Erik Stokkebye from Stratus Stores, Inc.
So Boy and I, we enjoy going to movies. We enjoy talking about what's coming, upcoming, and movie trailers. And also there's some great YouTube channels that kind of help to build the hype and generate some fun around movies. Have you seen the trailer for Shazam?
Have I? Yes, I have.
What did you think?
I loved it.
So
I'm a big fan of anything Zachary Levi.
Okay, so Zachary Levi, who was Chuck in the TV show Chuck, and I agree with you. I thought he was great. Unfortunately, the story played out. The Chuck story played out way too soon.
It did, and there were some seasons in the middle that were not great. The last season was spectacular.
Was it?
And the ending was great.
I didn't watch the last season.
Yeah, they pulled it back together. They got rid of some of the stuff that was making it cheesy and added some new complications. It was excellent. But I really liked how the show ended.
The premise of Shazam, and I should do some research because when I was a kid, maybe even a young teen, there was a Shazam. I want to say it was a TV show. But
it was a movie.
I think that they've done this a couple times. They've tried to launch this, and each time I think they do it too straight. And what this looks to me like is, the origin story when they rebooted Spider-Man and how they were able to make that more appealing.
Which
because Tobey Maguire, I think.
Okay.
They were able to capture a little bit more of the origin and make that interesting with him trying to figure out how to use his skills. The trailer, which is a couple minutes long, we'll link to it, of course, down in the doobie.
Yeah, they're calling it a teaser trailer, but it's really long.
It's really long. And the movie's going to come out next year, so there's no hurry. But it looks like the movie Big with Tom Hanks.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
Isn't that what you thought? Because, here's this young man who is through a chance encounter, or maybe it wasn't so chancy, gets these superpowers where all he has to do is say Shazam, and he is transformed into this superhero. And so he's a young boy who becomes a man. But he's a man who's still that young boy, but he has the superpowers. And like I said, it kind of reminded me of Big and him, Tom Hanks figuring out the world as a grown-up. His buddy, not to give away the trailer, but the moment where his buddy's like, talking about his super suit and what sort of things can you do, he goes, I haven't even figured out how to pee in this yet. It's like, that's what a kid would say, right? So that looked really good. We've seen a number of trailers here recently, but the other thing that I just get such a kick out of is on YouTube there is a channel that about once a week has been coming out with pitch meetings.
Oh gosh, that's so good.
And these pitch meetings are a guy, and I may have already talked about this. This guy is pitching to a movie studio an idea for a movie, and it's a movie that we are all familiar with. It happened in the past. And the one that came out this week was he's pitching Guardians of the Galaxy, Episode 1. And what kills me about these things is they point out all these just nonsensical moments in the movie where as soon as they point it out, they're like, you say to yourself, yeah, why aren't all those henchmen shooting at the same time? They all have weapons, and yet this guy shoots, and then this guy shoots, and then this guy. Why would you have in a prison in space a button that would turn off gravity? What would be the possible benefit of that? But Rocket's able to figure out to do that. Pitch meeting is fantastic.
Yes.
I've enjoyed so many of them. And what makes it really kind of funny is you've got the same guy is playing both the guy pitching the movie and the movie executive. And so it just goes back and forth, never a split screen. It's just him with glasses on, him without glasses. And some of my favorites, Home Alone is great. They did the Star Wars, several of the Star Wars movies.
There's one, he's branched out a little bit too. There's one where he pitched The Rock just as an actor that they should hire. And so he goes through and breaks down all of or many of The Rock's movies. And you see that there are common things. Oh, he's in a jungle. And it goes through, 3 or 4 different movies. You've never heard of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson? Yeah, they are excellent. Every time one of those comes out, that has become a new channel for me. That I won't hesitate to watch.
Is it Screen Junkies?
I think so.
I think so too. It's a channel that has lots and lots of contributors to it. But that one in particular, whenever I see the thumbnail, they'll take the face of someone from the movie that we know, and they are somehow or another photoshopping their eyeballs very large. So they've got almost that anime girl big eyeball thing that stands out, and so it's a pitch meeting.
That's one of those channels or one of those videos that when it comes out, there's very little time between when I see that there's a new one and when I watch it.
Yeah.
In fact, it might be one of like the second on that list. For me, number 1, if you haven't seen Primitive Technology, there are a lot of imitators. Some of the imitators are doing a good job too, but Primitive Technology is my number 1 favorite YouTube channel, period. No, period. When these videos come out, I'm watching it immediately. It's one guy, he builds huts, he makes bricks out of stuff, he makes fire kilns, he builds things using truly primitive technology.
Is that the guy that made the suit?
No.
Who's the guy that made his own suit?
No, that's something different. That's How to Make Everything.
Right.
How to Make Everything. That guy goes on a journey where he says, I'm going to make my own suit. He then spends over the course of like 9 or 10 episodes where he goes and he milks silkworms to make a tie, and then he
learns how to raise and shear sheep
and
make yarn. And
yeah, the basic premise of that show is if the world were to start over tomorrow, how would we do these things? It's a great channel too.
Yeah.
But Primitive Technology, and this guy, if you watch it and you don't know this, he puts captions of what he's doing, an explanation of what he's doing on the caption, closed captions.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, there's no talking at all. So there's like sounds of creaks and bugs and all sorts of stuff. It's so good. So it's so simple.
Most content creators on YouTube just let Google produce their transcript. So if there is closed captioning, it's pretty bad. Really good creators take the time, and some people actually will pay other people to write their closed captioning.
Or they'll get their audience to do it.
Then they'll upload it, and then that way the closed captioning is at least close to accurate.
Right.
But the fact that he's taking the time to upload
he's
what he would otherwise be saying.
Yeah, he's doing a description of what he's saying. And I watched... He's been making these videos for 2, maybe 3 years now. It was half of that time ago that I discovered the closed captioning. I love the channel. I love the videos without the closed captioning because you get a sense for what's going on. But it does enhance it when you know that why he's putting this dirt into the furnace is because he's hoping to purify the little iron particles that are in it. It's so good. Check it out.
One more. I know I've talked about Jimmy DiResta in the past. All right, I'm a DiResta fanboy. I also support Jimmy on Patreon to the tune of $1 a month. Because what you get for $1 a month with Jimmy is you get previews of the videos he'll be uploading, and he'll take his videos and he'll do voiceovers before he's got the final edit done. The final edit usually has no voiceover. It's just the sound of him working in the shop. And so you can hear him, and actually he's getting feedback from his audience a little bit about how, I think this segment's a little bit long. What do you think?
What do you think? Ah, that's awesome.
And every now and again, he will upload the actual voiceover version to YouTube, making it public. And you'll see he's doing that with some of his really, really old videos that he made for other channels.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets, he kept the rights to those, and he said, okay, you can have the video for 2 years on your channel. Then it's my video again, and then to make it fresh, he'll do a voiceover on it. And if you enjoy watching people using their skills to make things, to hear him talk about stuff is just fascinating. And he's such a clever guy. He comes up with some just totally off the wall solutions for problems that would have stopped me dead in my track. And he pushes on through.
Pushes through.
Yeah.
That makes me think of, sorry for another plug, but Tested with Adam Savage. Yep. Recently, I spent better part of an hour watching him build a man purse.
I didn't see that one.
He's partnered with a company, I guess, to make everyday carry bags out of leather. Or, no, his was out of a sail. His was canvas from a sail, and the video was it was a one-day build of him cutting it out.
Did you get it on sale at a sale?
Cutting it out and stitching it together and just watching him sewing. But man, it's what appears to be raw talent that is just practiced talent.
Okay, so people know him from
Mythbusters.
Yes. But before Mythbusters, and why he was even on Mythbusters, he made set designs and props and things like that for movies.
Star Wars prequels he worked on.
And so I should have watched the one about the man purse, because I should have known it doesn't matter what he's doing.
Doesn't matter.
He's doing something interesting with it.
Good.
But there's the occasions that he's done where he's taken like a Nerf gun and made it look like something that was found in a pyramid.
Yes.
And just the way he'll distress it and the tools he uses to do that. Fascinating.
And what I really appreciate about him, I think, and this is going to be a weird parallel, but I think it's something that I appreciate about Bob Ross. I am not enough of an artist. I don't have enough technique or skill to feel comfortable being reckless and lackadaisical about things. But he has such a way with the tools that he's doing that just like Bob Ross, he's like, well, a little bit here and here and here,
right.
and goes to these great lengths to make it not look uniform, not look symmetrical.
Yeah, this gun would have been held by a right-hand person, so this side is going to have more scuffing or be shinier.
And just the ability to kind of, I appreciate that about Casey Neistat too. The ability to just let go of some of that pretension and some of that need for perfection. Like I am so immature and so self-conscious about stuff like that I'm not comfortable with it not being perfect. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that about
those guys, especially who work with paint, know that it's just paint.
Right.
If they don't like it, they'll put another coat of paint on it or wipe it off.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I don't have that comfort level with all of those creative things.
I was listening to, it makes me think, I was listening to Seth Godin's podcast. If you didn't know, he has a podcast now. It's awesome. It's 30 minutes of him just talking. So good. He said something the other day that I've written down on my whiteboard in my office. He said, and I'm taking it to make it more of a statement, but he said, practice being bad until you're good. He said, Wayne Gretzky was a better hockey player than me at age 5, but he wasn't a better hockey player at me at age 3. And at age 3, he was bad. And he kept practicing being bad until he was good, until he was better than me. And so he was giving this advice.
That goes against your sister-in-law's perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. He was talking about, somebody had asked him, if I want to start getting into producing videos for my business, what should I do? And he said, make a video every day. They're going to be bad, but I guarantee you at the end of the first month, they're going to be better than they were at the start of the first
So
month.
true. So true.
Yeah.
Casey Neistat again,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Challenged himself to make a video a day
Yeah.
for a year. He did it longer than a year, and then he stopped for a while, and now he's back to doing them almost daily. And so much better than they ever were at the start of that process.
Yeah.
So you have some more tech. We promised.
Well,
we
not
promised
tech.
some
Not tech
Men's-
today.
Markwood Men's breakfast crap, right?
Yeah. This is more Chinese crap. Crap from China. So I told you 3 weeks of crap from China. An ordinary deck of playing cards.
Bicycle playing cards are made in Cincinnati.
Yes, this is Chinese playing cards. Read that title.
It says, Bic Weiss.
Bicicib. Bicicib Special Deck Standard. So, it says poker. These playing cards cost me $4 from China.
Free shipping?
Free shipping. From AliExpress again.
We talked about that, why they get free shipping, right?
No.
They get reduced shipping. It was an agreement that was made with China back, I want to say in the 70s or 80s, for businesses to be able to speed up the time to develop new products. So they would be able to ship very quickly and very inexpensively prototypes from China to America so that manufacturers and people here could get those products cheap and quick. It was never intended, that special pricing, to be used to sell to individuals, and yet it is.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other day who does exporting out of China, and he was saying that one thing you might notice is that they don't claim, they undervalue the product price on the claims as well, and that's one way that they get around import tax.
Got it. We get asked about that at Aristocab all the time. Hey, can you put on the custom documents that this thing costs $5?
No.
No, can't do it.
Pick
All
a
right.
card, any card.
Don't look at my card.
Okay.
Okay, look away. I'm going to show it to the camera.
All right.
All right.
All right. Put your card on the top of the deck.
On the top of the
You
deck.
heard what I said. All right. Was your card the Ten of Hearts?
Yes, it was.
Weird.
How did you do that?
So, I bought from China
Marked
for
cards.
$4 a deck of. It's not going to focus. A deck of marked cards.
Let me see it.
In the top corner, top left-hand corner of the cards.
Look at that.
Are markings you wouldn't know if you weren't looking for them.
Wow.
Now, there are a lot of ways to mark cards. There are ways that you can mark cards yourself. If you use a traditional bicycle deck, they have in the they have.
That's hilarious.
I know. So they have along the tops of the cards these flowers, and a traditional bicycle deck will have enough that you can actually color them in. And if you color them in with a red marker, if you color in one petal with a red marker on one side and a red marker on the other side, you can use that to denote the card value. And so there are video tutorials online on how to do that, where it's almost impossible to see because what you're actually looking at is not a marking, but you're creating a dead space. And so it barely shows up. But I was on there and I was, late night shopping, was just rummaging around for various things, was looking at lighters, torches, all sorts of things, and just stumbled on these marked decks. Now, you can buy marked decks of cards online, but buying them through Amazon is going to be about $15. There are some that are a little bit cheaper. I knew that these probably wouldn't be the best quality. They're a little bit thin, a little bit plasticky. They feel like Chinese playing cards. They feel like dollar store playing cards,
Right.
but that's okay because
for
you
fun,
know, if you're
right?
and if you're like me, you have a drawer full of dollar store playing cards, so nobody's going to think anything of it. They also the jokers are also marked. They're marked with a J and no signifier. It also has a two-sided white card, which can be used for some magic tricks. Others will often have a two-sided red card, but this does not have that. then maybe you can help me figure this out. It also came with this bonus. These bonus cards that have numbers all on them, and they have like
board,
like a grid of numbers. And if you look at that, and I will read you the English instructions. It says heart communication properties, 6 cards on which different numbers are printed. Performing methods. Add the numbers in secret on the top left corner of the cards, which audience picked out. Then you will get the number of his or her age. For example, if the audience is 30-year-old and there are 4 and the 6 cards are printed 30, and the number on the top left corner of each card is 2, 4, 8, and 16, you will know the age of this audience after you add these numbers. So maybe you lay them out for the audience member. Here, let me see this. So maybe you lay them out.
Pick one that has
and
your age
you
on
say, pick
it.
the ones that have your age, right?
Okay.
And then you add up the
upper left-hand corner.
Upper left-hand corner.
Right, so
okay, so that's got to be how that works.
All right, so let's say I'm 54.
Okay.
Okay. 54, but I'm 55 now. Let's say I'm 55.
Yes, you are.
All right. So that one doesn't have 55. That one does. That one does. That one does. So all of those have 55 on them. But I wouldn't have told you that.
Right. So we've got 32 plus 1 is 33, plus 16 is 49, plus 4 is 53, plus 2 is 55. That's how that works. Cool.
That is interesting.
That's a fun trick. All right. Thank you, Chinese playing cards. I did not order these. These were just sitting in the bag when I got these as a consolation prize, I guess. I, like you, kind of looked at this and I said, oh, bicycle playing cards. They are not. Let's show that. Bicycle playing cards. So, there's some Chinese crap to show off.
So this does remind me of one more thing.
Sure.
I've also been watching on YouTube. I'm certain they're totally illegal uploads, but Penn and Teller's fool us.
Oh, yes.
And
I love that show.
Especially the ones that people have fooled them.
Yes.
And there's been guys that do coin tricks. There's one that amazing coin tricks. And it's all sleight of hand.
The Asian, the samurai magician, something.
No, I didn't like him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he was over the top,
with
but
the 4 coins.
He was
and
good.
Okay. I was a magician's assistant.
Some of the tricks were really good.
I know exactly how these things are done. Even knowing how, there's one guy in particular, if I can find it, I'll link it below. One guy, even knowing how they do these tricks, was so amazing that I think he fooled them.
Yeah, he did.
I think he fooled them. Anyway, yeah, the Asian guy was saying that
he fooled them at the end.
As he looked through all of the winners who had fooled them, only 3 people total have ever done it with coins.
Right.
And so he figured his odds were good or bad, one or the other.
Right.
Right? Because he knew he was good with the coins. But that is, I don't have the time to watch that show because there's so many commercials and there's so much stuff that's not good. I love watching the segments, though, where they are fooled.
I do too.
Because I like being fooled, too.
I do, too. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I've taken to watching all YouTube videos at least 1.5 times speed, if not 2 and 2.5 times speed.
A lot fast, too. 1.25.
I have a Chrome plugin that on top of any video, whether it's on YouTube or really if it's on a news site, if it's on Facebook, almost any video, period, in the top left-hand corner it puts a little indicator. As you hover over that, you can plus or minus the speed, and it does it by 1/10 of a percentage point. And so I'll speed it up to as fast as I can listen, or speed it down as needed.
But on a magician, you slow it down.
So I did that. Who did I did that for? I did that for. Did you see the guy with the blocks?
Blocks.
There was a guy.
Yeah. They had the lamps
yes.
on the table, and he fooled him.
He did.
He fooled him. Yeah.
He did. I did slow it down for that, and figured it out. So
did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we won't tell. Here's the one thing I learned being a magician's assistant. Everyone wants to know how a trick is done until they find out how it's done.
Yeah.
you don't really want to know how a trick is done, and it's. I think that's why Penn and Teller get such joy out of being fooled.
Yeah.
Because when you've seen every trick, to have somebody stump you is delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any interest in doing stuff like this, if you want mark cards, want to make your own or anything, I recommend checking out the channel Scam School on YouTube. It's one of my favorite channels. Or plugging different channels and different shows. Their old tagline was social engineering at the bar or on the street. So they teach games, puzzles, ways to really break the ice with new groups of people. And card tricks are a lot of them, napkin tricks, things that you can do with just various objects, riddles, all sorts of things.
Mind reading.
Yeah,
tricks.
it's great for becoming more comfortable with having an open conversation with somebody.
And if you didn't know this, right here in the YTPC, we have a guy that owns a magic shop.
What? I didn't know that.
Stogie Farts owns a magic shop and a great website with lots and lots of magic stuff. You can subscribe, and he sends out relatively reasonably promotions and specials and things like that. And we will put a link to that right here.
Cool.
A couple videos that he has on a magic channel where if he's selling this, he'll have the inventor doing a presentation on it. So he's not doing these tricks. He's just selling them.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool.
It's very cool.
All right, well, let's wrap us up.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. Hope you had a good time. If you've watched it this far, I am assuming that you did.
Yeah.
For some reason, you can't reach your keyboard. So either way, thanks for joining us. Make it a great week.
See ya.